Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for August 30th, 2020, with your host, Speaks2448, and Ramp That Up Salon.
Hi.
We have ever so slightly turned the corner in the series now.
Yeah. Like, it's almost like we've basically hit the reset button to a certain degree.
Again?
Yeah. But this time it actually feels like it instead of it being shoehorned in because reasons.
Also, pop quiz real quick. Have we traded out one of the girls for a new one?
Probably. I'm just gonna be willing to guess.
Alright, second question. Do you know who got traded out?
No clue.
Surprise, it's Mari. She's done. Last week's last episode was her last episode for the series. We're trading out for the random girl we ran into at the zoo. She's in the club now.
Does she have a name? Because I don't think I caught that in any of the episodes.
I don't think it's named an episode. I think it's Toko.
So we have yet another unimportant side character.
Yes.
Thanks, show.
Yep. Let me make sure on that. Yeah, it's Toko. She is here till episode 69. And also gets to be in one of the movies for the original series. She gets to be in Kamen Rider versus Ambassador Hell.
Huh. Yeah, and I'm sure it gets to do virtually nothing.
I mean, they virtually do nothing in this week.
True.
except like go through newspapers.
Yeah. I feel like if we basically changed Goro's backstory to just being like, oh yeah, he's Tachibana's nephew or something, then we could pretty much just make it the four of them and be good.
Yeah. Sadly, yeah.
Because they really give nothing to the show. And it's not their fault. That's what's the bad part.
They are given absolutely nothing in this fucking series, and it frustrates me to no fucking end. They have nothing.
It's like,
God.
It's like, why are they supporting cast members when they really should just be seat warmers? Because that's about all they do.
Yeah.
That
Jesus.
And treat Goro like he's a little infant or something. That's like the two things they do.
Which, to be fair, the one time this week he was spraying them with water just for funsies.
Yeah, but
also it's weird. Goro, you just now saying that, isn't Goro's characterization weird? Where he's like super competent, like very much like super good kid or brat.
yeah.
He swings hard between those two.
He is very bipolar when it comes to that.
Yeah. They have him swinging between these two whenever they need him to do something, I guess.
I almost feel like that's different writers. Like, we've got one writer that wants him to be this spoiled little brat, and the other writer is like, no, he's a good kid.
I would not be surprised, considering didn't we go through like 5 writers at one point for like
so.
Up to where we were looking at? It's just like, I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't even kept track of the writers for this fucking series.
I mean, it's probably for the best.
Although I'm tempted at one point whenever we either finish the series or stop watching the series, to actually go through and document who wrote what episodes.
And you might, if you're going to do that, you might also figure out how many episodes had more than one writer on it, because some of these feel like it.
Yeah, that too.
It's one of those, if some of these aren't, then I would be surprised.
So yeah, folks, it's episodes 53 through 56. We have Hongo back. He's back full time.
Yeah.
While Hayato has fucked off to South America to go deal with shit there, I guess.
Yeah, and after all of Hayato's show, because we might as well just say that's what that was.
Yeah, and also Hongo's in his proper form that we have seen him dozens of times in like the modern era. Through no explanation, he just is in that form now.
He just is. But yeah, after all of that, I'm not gonna lie, I've kind of went into this not really super excited because of the fact of it's like, yeah, the writing has been the problem, not so much the characters.
Yeah, God.
It just. And what's funny is it almost feels like a complete 360 from where we were. And I have to wonder what changed besides Hongo coming back.
I feel like we're closer to when the show started than we were the entire time Hayato was around.
It's almost like we kind of picked up his story progression from the point he had to leave.
Yeah.
And that might be why. But yeah.
That makes sense. So yeah, we have a wonderful set of 4 episodes to go through. So you ready?
I guess so.
Alright, we're gonna kick things off with episode 53, Monster Jaguar Man's Ready to Die Motorbike War. That only matters for like half these episodes. For half this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Okay, so we kick off with our newest shocker monster, Catman. I'm calling him Catman. I don't care.
Fitting name.
Yeah. As he is talking to the local zoo's animals to get them to revolt.
Because that's how you do that.
Yeah. You just tell a cat to go bite someone's head off and he does it. So he is confronted by a security guard and he reveals himself, and this causes the security guard to run away to the office where the monster is already there with a cloak over him, disguising him.
Teleportation. Didn't you know that's what Jaguars are known for?
I missed the random teleportation in this series. Like, bear in mind, this is not we see the security guard run through the zoo back to the office. No, we see him run off, smash cut to him running into the office. The guy is already sitting there, black cloak over him. As this guy's being like, is it 911, 110? What do I do to call the actual cops? And then Catman reveals himself and murders him. After he's like, by the way, I also murdered your friend already.
I love the fact, though, that, kids show we can't say we killed people. He literally told him that his buddy was already asleep, and I'm like, yep, that's kids show right there for you. Can't say murder.
I think he said that jokingly.
I feel like that might not have all been that, though.
Yeah. Anyway, his plan is to cause an animal revolt. Okay, as a dog owner, I have to ask this question. Are you actually getting them to revolt, or are you actually trying to mind control them, because
Yes.
I'm not sure how many dogs and cats would be like, fucking, why would I try to kill the people who own me? I get free food. I get belly rubs. I don't want to do shit. Fuck you. Leave me alone. Shut up, weird cat person.
Weird cat man.
Yeah, like how many animals would actually revolt when they are like probably well taken care of animals?
Well, I mean, the same could be
Like,
said about
legit.
the zoo animals.
Yeah, like why would they revolt? It's just like, well, I'm well taken care of. I get free food, and I don't have to do any work to get it. Fucking, why would I want to leave? Shut up, sir. Anyway, we check in with Hongo, who's out practicing for a Grand Prix with Tachibana, which, weirdly enough, speaking of the Ichigo movie, the photo in that movie is actually from this episode. It's when Hongo pulls up on the bike and he's talking to Tachibana.
Ah.
It does create a problem, though.
Yeah.
Who took the picture?
Shocker. They're everywhere.
Makes sense.
That's the best explanation. Because you can't even say Taki because he came up later and didn't even know that Hongo wasn't around.
Yep. So anyway, he decides to go back around and try to save some seconds off his time. Unfortunately, as we follow Hongo around the track, that apparently leads to him away from Tachibana and out of both eye shot and earshot of him.
Even though, from both camera angles that you can see where Tachibana's at, it's an oval track.
Apparently, it's just some big road course.
It's like, did we forget what we were doing here, actually?
Apparently. Anyway, Hongo is then attacked by Catman and his Shocker Goons on bikes, because they all have bikes now. Because they're going to try to beat Hongo on his bike.
Because that's a smart
This doesn't.
thing.
So this leads to a bit of a chase as we cut back over to the Tachibana as he's worried because Hongo's not back yet. Well, I'm going to take a little bit to get that right.
And tick a lot of people off at the same time.
Yep. This is when Taki shows up, and the two of them are like, huh, Hongo's not back yet. Maybe you should go look for him. It might have been an accident. And I'm about to go,
Yep, thanks.
this has already happened. This has happened once before, which Shocker ambushes them on a track away from everyone else.
I mean...
But then I'm like, wait, that was Hayato.
It's happened to Hongo.
It was Hayato.
It's happened to Hongo, too.
Oh,
Tachibana
never
should
mind.
be used to this. This kind of always happens.
How many times? Why do they not realize that, like, sometimes Shocker just decides to bushwhack them for, like, no reason other than fuck
The
them?
same reason why on certain days they don't remember that Hayato and Hongo are both riders.
Yeah, you're right.
Which I don't think we got any of that in this. Which is good.
No, we did. Finally, fucking consistent on it for once. Thank you.
Because, I mean, let's be honest, Tachibana definitely should know that both of them are riders.
Yeah. Anyway, Hongo manages to shake some of them off. I think he knocks them off the cliff. It's one of those times where a fight scene's happening and I'm half paying attention because, like, I just don't pay attention to fight scenes in the series at all.
I don't either.
They are not the most interesting fight scenes in this franchise by a mile.
Like, they are good for what they are. But, yeah. Because, I mean,
Anyway,
you
Taki-
kind of got to take into account there wasn't as much technology then.
Yeah. The only time I pop for these is when stupid shit happens, like they dress a mannequin in a suit and throw it off a cliff.
I do think they actually put a Shocker Goon mannequin on a bike and rolled it down a hill for one of them.
Makes sense.
But outside of that, I was like, oh, okay. Because I think when I saw that, I was like, oh, hi, mannequin.
There's one I want to get to, because it is the shittest looking thing I've ever fucking seen. Anyway, Taki meets up with Hongo. They split up to try to like find Shocker, and then they both lose them at the same location. They're like, "Huh, Shocker's base must be nearby if we both got lit here." Anyway, we cut back over to the Shocker base, where our new general in charge, Ambassador Hell, who is from the Ichigo movie, if you remember us watching that.
Yeah.
He's the one in there. He's in charge because Dr. Death's on vacation, or he's going to chase Hayato or something. I don't know.
Or he's going to get his monster surgery.
Yeah. So he's trying to get Catman and the Shocker Goons to study Hongo's racing motorcycle tactics to better beat him, even though we're not going to fight him on a bike for the rest of the episode. Oops.
I wasn't thinking about that, but yep. Oops. But
yep.
Budget didn't account for that.
Yep.
We're just going to ignore that.
Meanwhile, we get a report that dogs and cats are having a fuss because Catman is making them have an uproar. Like, I demand more treats. I will pout in a corner or something. I don't know. I just can't help but think of my dog in this current scenario. Just like, he will just pout in the corner or he will just steal something.
I think the news report we heard this on said something about they were attacking their owners.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, sure, okay. You say so.
Yep. They're also causing a revolt at the local zoo, so the cops have been deployed to like go handle that. Which brings us to the question of why the fuck do we find Goro and the girls, minus Mika, who's not in this episode, and we'll be picking up another girl, Toko, here in a second, are at the fucking zoo! If it is being cordoned off by the cops.
Because we've got to advance the plot.
Apparently. God damn it. So yeah, the three of them run into Toko, who saw Catman, and they go to investigate, only to be cornered by Shocker. But thankfully, Hongo and Taki are nearby, and they break it up, and they go out fight Shocker for a little bit. Hongo is pulled off on his own to fight Catman, who disappears. And eventually he gets phoned in by Ambassador Hell via hologram. To be like, haha, I've captured your friends, fuck you, bye. So, as usual, Taki and the others are captured. Go figure.
Yeah, that's not a surprise.
Yep. Hongo decides to give himself up to find the others, and we find them in a cage where they're going to be fed to a lion. In a completely separate cage. With, I think, no door between them.
Yep. I think you're right, actually.
How exactly are you going to feed them to this lion that's over here?
They're going to cut them up in little pieces and stick them through the cage. Because that's the only way that's going to work. Except for the fact that, they all left.
Yeah. He decides to trade his life for theirs, so he's carded off to be executed. But he does slip his lighter off to Taki and the others. And I guess, since no one's watching them, Taki is able to burn through the ropes in order to free him and the others. Okay. I hope they're not thick ropes. Otherwise, that would take forever.
Except they did look kind of thick, so...
It's a really good lighter.
Well, I mean, Hongo probably upgraded it like he did his suit.
Probably. Anyway, they string him up, and they try once more to burn him alive with a fire that keeps teleporting on where it is.
And why do they think that burning him is the only means of destroying him?
I don't
I've
know.
been wondering that. Because it's like, okay, are all Shocker cyborgs just have this problem with fire? Why? Why?
Because it is a method to kill him that takes long enough for someone to show up to rescue him.
Okay, crushers work too.
Right, but we need budget for that. We just pick up fucking sticks from around the set and just put them in a pile and just light it.
True. They clean up the set while they're going.
Yeah, this is a cost-effective means to portray this.
If you say so.
Yeah. And all, like I said, the fire is teleporting because when they first start building the fire, it is at his feet. But then when they light it on fire, it's like 2 feet away.
And then when Taki comes and kicks it down, it's like 4 foot away. It keeps moving.
So yeah, Taki shows up, frees Hongo. Hongo proceeds to beat the shit out of some Shocker goons with one of the sticks that is kind of still on fire. So fight ensues. Taki and him, they beat up goons. They beat up Jaguar Man. Jaguar Man actually goes down to a Rider Hurricanrana, or as he calls it, a Rider Head Crush. I'm calling it a Hurricanrana. Fuck you. It's a Hurricanrana. So Catman goes boom. We save the day, and they go on a tour of the zoo to celebrate, I guess.
Because you always tour the thing that you were almost killed in.
Yeah. How the fuck do these people not have, like, some... They're not scarred in some way?
Because Ryder will save them.
I guess. Anyway, that moves us to episode 54, Sea Serpent Man of the Phantom Village. We check in with 2 truckers as they pick up some guy who's on the side of the road to a phone, and they drive through a tunnel only to find themselves on the other side, or back where they started, from the beginning of the tunnel, which confuses them. So they turn around to try to go back through the tunnel, and they're still in the same place. That's because they are being whammied by Shocker Monster, that it creates illusions.
And can kill people from a distance by doing nothing.
Yep. So it corners them and kills all 3 of them by melting them.
From a distance, without touching, looking at them, or anything.
Makes sense.
Very true.
And after killing them, I guess it causes the truck to drive into town with no driver, which then makes the newspaper. Because subtlety.
Yeah. And keep that in mind for a thing later.
Yeah. Back over to the club, Goro drops by and talks about how he was listening to the radio while doing homework, which apparently Tachibana doesn't like.
Because apparently he thinks you can't multitask.
Yeah.
I do my best work when having music running, so... Yeah.
Yeah, music and that kind of stuff can be very helpful in making you helping you focus. I think I have to feel like the methodology is the same reason why people chew gum while they're studying and then chew gum during a test.
I could see that, actually.
Because you associate what you learned with the chewing of the gum, so when you chew the gum, it's easier to, like, access that stuff. It's just like, oh yeah, right, this, right. Anyway. He tells the club about the radio message he heard that apparently is just Shocker in Japanese, I guess.
I think reversed. I think it's
okay.
like the syllables or like so many letters reversed, because Hongo said it forward and then reverse, and that's when everyone was like, oh, Shocker.
Yeah, I didn't get it. This is one of those times where I'm like, I need a translation note like TV Nihon does to like explain what the fuck's happening here.
Like that's what I kind of took it at from the subs of it, but maybe that's even wrong.
Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, they figure it's a shocker plot, and Tachibana sees in the newspaper about a truck that mysteriously drove into town, so Shocker must be behind this, so they're off to investigate. Unfortunately, Taki is busy because he is helping a crew scout out a racetrack from a helicopter.
Because that's how you do
for
that.
some reason. Why is Taki helping people figure out a racetrack?
Because he's got to be in the area where plot happens. So that was the answer.
Like, one, why? Two, why you of all people? And three,
why?
could we have not come up with something more plausible for you, Taki? What the fuck?
Why couldn't it have been an FBI tip or something?
Yeah, it's just like, oh, that's weird. I'm gonna go investigate this. Anyway, as he's flying, he ends up spotting people in this village that Shocker apparently has control of. So he tries to go investigate, only to run into Shocker and the monster, and they corner him, and he gets whammied and taken prisoner.
Because of course he does.
And the helicopter flies itself back to the airport that he flew out of, where Hongo is currently at, and sees this happen. And he's like, where is this supposed to go to?
Okay, it gets even better. Because Hongo finds out the helicopter should have been out of gas. When the helicopter lands, It is out of gas. How? That's not how that works. That is really not how that works.
Sure it is.
No, it's not. Like, I could maybe understand if they figured out, like, it was an illusion. Because it's like, oh, well, the monster's just screwing with them. But no, This is the actual plane. Out of gas, without anyone flying it. Wait, what?
So Hongo knows where to go, and he heads out to investigate, only to get close enough, I guess, and then Shocker ambushes him. So he fights him for a bit before taking a dive off a cliff in order to follow our Snake Man monster to the village. At this point, he finds everybody just hanging out underground, confused and dazed because of the illusions, and he rallies everyone to escape, only for Shocker to try to fight him again. So when Hongo, or try to like whammy them again, so Hongo walks into the trap, gets immediately captured, and then just fucking no-sells it and just escapes. Why?
He had to figure out how the monster was doing the whammy.
Okay.
That's the only thing I could think of.
So Hongo escapes, cleans house, fight ensues, he beats up the goons and Snake Man, and then, this is the part that got me, he delivers the worst looking tombstone pile driver I've ever fucking seen. I don't remember what it's called in series, but it's the worst fucking thing in the world. Because you see him drive a mannequin in the monster suit into the ground, and it just kind of goes boop off the ground.
And isn't this the same point where, because of the way they did it, they kind of more rolled than anything else?
Yes.
It's like,
fucking
wow, you flubbed that one hard.
It is the worst looking finish in the series so far. The worst looking one. Jesus.
Because when you said that, I happen to remember that. It's like, yep, I remember seeing that, and I'm like, did they just flub that move and still rolled with it anyhow?
Yeah. So, blows up the monster, they save everyone. Hongo takes Taki to the hospital, I guess, because he's still whammied and still got the shit kicked out of him, and that's the episode. So how'd you feel about these 2 episodes?
Far more enjoyable than what we've had to deal with Hayato.
Yeah.
Mainly because, Hongo isn't a complete and total competitive jerk at times to Taki.
Yeah.
Hongo can understand that Taki sometimes, very rarely, can actually do something and accomplish it.
Although there's a moment in the last episode that I think is hilarious. But we'll get there, so. Ready to hit the second half?
I guess so.
Alright, episode 55, Cockroach Man, the terrifying bacteria and balloon. So Shocker has hijacked the local bowling alley for testing grounds for an aging drug that makes people grow old really quickly. The girls and Goro see this firsthand as they see 2 people fall victim to it. At which point, the gang immediately figures out it's Shocker, because of course it is. And they also figure out at the same time, and it's being explained to us by Shocker through normal exposition with Shocker, that the bowling balls are laced with a bacteria that causes the aging.
So
okay.
3 minutes into the episode, and everyone's already on the same page.
More or less. And also, the bowling balls are laced with it, which is how they're spreading it.
Is it the whole bowling ball, or is it just the finger holes? Because I think they were...
It's just the finger holes.
That's what I was thinking.
They figured...
Wouldn't it have been smarter to lace that and the balls?
Well... bowling balls are big, so that's a lot of area to cover.
But that would be a lot more people that would come in contact with it.
But it could rub off onto the lane, and it may not stick to the balls. But if you put it in the holes, it won't rub off until it rubs off on someone's hand.
I still think doing both would have been far more productive for them. But
Probably.
There again, we're not looking at a productive Shocker, we're just looking at Shocker.
Yeah. Anyway, we then immediately cut over to an apartment complex that I guess Shocker is testing this out on now, where 2 random mooks are selling snake oil as bug spray.
Were they actually already testing it then? Or was it a case of they were thinking about using that area to test it? Because I seem to recall no one there was aging.
I don't know. All of a sudden, Shocker is like, these 2 are interfering with our plans. Get them! And I'm like, why?
I feel like
they
got shoehorned into this.
I think so too, because all of a sudden they're the targets. Shocker, because they're selling snake oil as bug spray to this apartment complex that I'm assuming is Shocker hideout. And they're like, no, we can't have this shit here. This is interfering with our plans. This is complicating problems. We need to uncomplicate it. So anyway, Shocker attacks them, takes the both of them, and then turns one of them into a cockroach monster, and then has the other one help Cockroach Monster to sell balloons filled with the drug later.
To give away balloons. He ain't even selling them.
Right, give away. Yeah, give away balloons to a bunch of kids that include Goro in this scenario. Unfortunately, the kids are just like, you sold us bad bug spray, get them! And then they're ran out of town. Except they proceed to kidnap 2 kids before they run. Why are they kidnapping kids?
Because, it's Shocker. They can always use kids.
I guess.
That sounds horrible. But that's kind of how the show has been rolling.
Yeah. So this causes Goro to call in Tachibana to be like, hey, Shocker just kidnapped a couple kids. Get Hongo here now. So this is when Hongo shows up. And he runs the car down and saves the kids. But the Roach's partner gets sprayed with the aging stuff. So he's down and out.
To this, I wonder, because of a thing later, did Cockroach Man realize what his partner had in his jacket? I feel like he
Probably.
had to have. And at that point, why did you do it that way?
Who knows? Anyway, Hongo then has to deal with the two shocker goons that were with Cockroach Man that tried to run him over with the car and do once, but they didn't crash and die, I guess. They didn't even run into those posts that hard. Anyway, we check in with these rogue balloons and see that they're popping and spraying people with the aging stuff, so they're being taken to the hospital, and for some reason, instead of actual health professionals, it's fucking Hongo, Taki, and Tachibana that are in the hazmat suits at the hospital looking at these people.
I mean, we've done burned the budget. We're trying to not have doctors now.
More or less. But they do find out they only have a few days to cure people, or else they will age into death, I guess. They'll age into dust.
And that makes me wonder. So was Shocker just aging people to like a certain point and then letting their body go back to normal? Because as quick as some of them were aging, they wouldn't have had days.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well.
Oops.
Anyway, Taki wakes up the guy from the Cockroach's partner, and he's just like, "Get the pills in my jacket. They're the cure." So Hongo goes and gets it out of the incinerator. I guess they were burning his jacket in for some reason.
Well, didn't they say
I guess they thought it was
contagious? Anyone that touched them too. I think they made a comment that it was like spread by just touching, which is not how that would work.
Yeah, that's also not how that also works, because didn't the girls at Goro touch the pew people earlier?
Uh-huh.
Oh, oops.
Continuity. And by that I mean lack of continuity.
So Hongo goes and gets the pills while Taki is looking after this guy, only for Shocker to come in. He gets whammied by the aging drug, and then they throw the Roach's partner out the fucking window. Because fuck him. He can't survive this at an old age. Except he does.
Well, I mean, that flower bed was soft.
Yes, that rock flower bed was incredibly soft.
It's softer than the concrete. You know, they could have thrown him a few more feet, and then that would have actually done what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
Oops.
Anyway, Hongo finds the pills. He uses it on Taki. It works. He uses it on the guy. It works. He finds out where the Shocker base is. So what Shocker's plans are, which is to fill a big balloon with this stuff and like pop it over town and coat the town with this shit. So Hongo goes and intercepts it, manages to stop the balloon from taking off the roof, and then hands it to Taki, who's also there. Which, why does Taki not tie this off to something?
Because it's more fun to fly away with it.
Yeah. Anyway, they fought the Shocker Goons and the monster. Hongo eventually throws it off the fucking... Or a rebounding kick actually knocks the Roach off the building, and he transforms back into the guy and then explodes in flames. And that's the episode done, more or less, because they go and distribute the pills and save everyone. Yay.
Yay.
Which brings us to our final episode 56, Amazon's Poison Butterfly Greeria? Poison Butterfly Lady. Anyway, a dad and his son are run off the road into an abandoned building by Shocker, which is, of course, also Shocker owned, so now they are captured. Taki and Hongo are investigating the fact that a bunch of disappearances or a bunch of abandoned cars have been found in this area, so they're trying to figure out like what the hell's happening. And this is what I was wanting to talk about, because Hongo fucking chucks his helmet at Taki. He chucks it at his head. Also, why is he chucking his helmet at Taki?
Because reasons.
Why is he not chucking Taki's helmet at him to be like, all right, we're out for a ride, let's go. Also, it might just be me, but does Hongo have a different bike in these episodes? Like, within these episodes, he has like 2 different bikes, I swear.
I'd say so, but if I'm not mistaken, didn't Hongo use a couple of different bikes before he left too?
Maybe?
I'm thinking when he wasn't transforming, he was using different bikes.
Yeah.
Which that
maybe
makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, he clearly has a passion for riding bikes, so it would make sense he's got more than one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a car fanatic would more than likely have more than one car.
Very true. Very true. As someone who in depth in that culture, yes, that is incredibly true.
It's kind of the same concept there. So
yeah,
that's one of those. That's not really something I'm upset with. I'm more confused as to why we've got enough budget for multiple bikes.
That is a good question.
And it also makes me wonder if some of these bikes might just actually be staff members.
It would not surprise me if it's just like, hey, we need your bike for like an episode. Okay, here. Don't dent the paint. Anyway, they go off investigating. They end up at, I think, a dam where they find this dust that Taki is about to do the taste test on. And the Hongo's like, what are you doing? That's stupid. Let's fucking go take this to a lab and analyze it.
And
it could be poisonous.
And I love the fact that Taki then is like, oh yeah, you're right. It's like, wow, he had to tell you that for you to realize that.
He's been working with Hayato too long, who doesn't do that stuff.
Well, of course not. Hayato didn't care as long as he got to shock her before Taki.
Yeah, because Hayato is not the scientist in the scenario. Hongo is. Because remember, Hongo is a scientist. Which is something I also forgot about. It's like, oh right, you're a fucking scientist.
Which, to be fair, is kind of helpful.
Yeah. Anyway, they take it to analyze, and I think at this point they find out it's the scales of this super rare butterfly that only just got found by some person. They need to go figure out and find the person who found it.
And I believe they also figured out at this point that it was poisonous. Taki the fool could have killed himself.
Yeah, bravo, Taki. Anyway, we check over to Shocker, where we find out their plan is to poison the water hole with the scales from this poison butterfly, and they even demonstrated on one of their fucking prisoners. As the gang rummages through all the newspapers they just have lying around, I bet they're glad they don't throw this shit away. To find the article, and it turns out it's on the newspaper Goro used to make a hat out of.
Of course it is.
What?
It being on
the Discord break? Oh, no. Yeah.
It's one of those. Of course it is.
Yeah. So, with the place discovered, the two of them go, and Taki is the one who volunteers to go in first. Since they both shouldn't go in, it might be a trap. You hang back, I'll go in. And I love how Hongo's like, okay. No argument, just like, okay, I'll hang back, you go, see what happens. And, of course, it's a trap.
It's always a trap.
So they lock Taki in a room and put a bomb next to the door. The Hongo has to ride in, fight off some tracker goons, and make it to him and disarm the bomb. Meanwhile, Tachibana gets a call from the lady that discovered it, because, spoilers, the lady is the one who's the butterfly monster. Of course she is. And they capture Tachibana. And Taki and Hongo end up falling into a trap because they fall through a trapdoor and then are confronted by Shocker and Ambassador Hell. And they try to fight, only for Tachibana to be used, and they're like, okay, fine. So they surrender. And Tachibana and Taki are taken to be executed with the rest of the prisoners they have, while Hongo is just locked up in a cell, across from a bunch of things that are explosive. Good job, Shocker.
Yep.
Good job. Great job.
Bravo.
God damn it. This, of course, is what let Hongo escape by lighting that shit on fire to draw attention so that they will take him out of his cell and beat the shit out of him, only for him to no-sell it and escape. Because that is Hongo's default plan when he is captured. No-sell, bust out of whatever I'm held up in. Anyway, he escapes. He goes and rescues the others at the dam. He beats up the goons with Taki. He rider kicks the butterfly. It goes boom off the side of the dam. The poison doesn't get in the water. Day is saved, and that's the end of the episode. So how'd you feel about these two?
I was still kind of riding the same way, but I honestly kind of tuned out a good bit on that last episode.
Me too. I tuned out a lot at the last part. Because like that last fight scene, I was just like, I don't care. It's a big fight scene. So how'd you feel about these two?
I mean, to be fair, I feel like we've got better energy with Hongo than we did with Hayato.
Yeah, kind of do. Feels like they know what to do with him more than they do with Hayato.
Yeah. It's like they already had a plan, so they're just executing it now.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's fine. I think we're turning a corner slightly, but I don't know how much more up from the here we can do with this show until we get to like end game stuff.
Yeah,
we're kind of just in the very midpoint of the series that just won't fucking end. It won't fucking progress at all. But yeah, anything else?
No.
Alright, then next week, it's only the next 3 episodes. For those who are listening to this and watching it and are watching along with us, it's only the next 3, not the next 4. So it's just 57, 58, and 59. But at that point, I guess we'll do like a look back at the series and like highs and lows, but I think we've talked those to death at this point. I think it's very clear what we are high and low on in this show.
And I also feel like it's pretty apparent that you can skip parts of this show and be perfectly fine.
I am very tempted to put together an essential viewings of this series and just be like, here's like the important episodes, and here's a few episodes in between that are cool. And like some of the better like one-off episodes we've been getting. Like, watch this and you're good. Because like you can skip shit in this series and not miss a fucking beat. Because I feel like you can skip like half to almost most of Hayato's episodes at this point, and just get to where Hongo's coming back and just watch that batch of like 4 to 5 episodes and just get to this point.
Yeah.
And just move on.
Yeah. Kind of have to agree.
But there's that. This week, you're doing rando stuff on your Twitch.
Yep.
I'm... Fuck, right. I have to modify that. I have to test that. Shit, I forget about that. I'm doing that tomorrow then.
Well, I mean, worst case, if you don't, I mean, I would be up with us doing a KH2 Seed Wednesday to give you another week.
Keep that in the back pocket. Because I need to test that. I forget about testing that. Unfortunately, I have woken up like middle of the day the last 2 days. And yesterday I got busy watching the episodes for this week and stuff. And today I got busy cleaning the house with my parents. So I unfortunately did not have the time to do what I need to do. So I'm going to sit down and do it tomorrow.
Hopefully.
And we're going to see. Yeah. I'm going to see if it fixes it. If not, there'll be a KH2 randomizer seed. Which, coincidentally enough, I have Juker on in the background doing a seed. With no tracker, I think? I don't think he has a tracker up for himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which feels like one of those, he might have someone helping him.
Or he might just have one not on screen.
Yeah.
But
he also didn't seem to know where the chests were, so I'm like, ooh,
oh, God.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if we... Well, I'll have it out anyhow. I'm going to release it tomorrow. I've updated the tracker a bit more. Looks a little better in my opinion. So, yeah, that'll be a thing.
Yeah, more Up Your Arsenal Thursday. I don't know what we're doing Friday at this point.
I don't know.
Maybe it's time. Yeah.
I honestly feel like we might just stop on Phantom Hourglass.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be more of a... I'm faulting the fact that the emulator isn't working the right way with it.
Yeah.
Because that white noise should have worked. Us recording stuff for it should have worked, but it didn't. So I'm like,
well, it did. Well, the recording stuff didn't work because it wasn't recorded in the very specific way it needed to be recorded for the fucking... Oh, okay. Mine wasn't, because I didn't know that part. I went
through all the steps to convert it, and it still didn't do anything.
Of course it did.
Yeah, that's one of those. I'm just going to fault the emulator. And say that one's probably dead.
Yeah.
As for what's next, I don't know.
I can give you the joke answer of, how about we do Kingdom Hearts 1 together?
I feel like that one might be a no, but after doing a lot of 2, maybe.
I can tell you this right now, it is not going to feel as good if you play 1 after 2.
I'm just meaning it might be a case of the problems I was having with it might be going away since I kind of understand the mechanics a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, it might be a maybe now.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we do have a couple of things in the back burner.
Yeah. Saturday is the podcast. We'll be talking shop on stuff from opening night live, I guess. Because there's been like nothing else. Besides more Fortnite stupidity that I don't give a shit about. It is now 3 corporations having a dick waving contest, and I do not care. I incredibly do not give a fuck. Y'all can fuck off. Just figure your shit out and be done, please. Back around the TGSR on Sunday, so if you like what you're seeing, drop a follow. I really appreciate it. Chip it away that follow girl at TG Saloon, or not fuck. Damn it.
Not follower goal.
Affiliate goal. The affiliate goal. Chipping away at that affiliate goal. At TG Saloon on Twitter gets you updates on when we go live. Next mention point, Discord chat gets your Discord link. Drop by, say hi. We got Dropbox for questions. We could use some. Please give us questions to answer during the podcast, please. Please do. Anyway, that'll do it for me and for Tommy. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.